No Karthik again today, so we are going to go back to the good, bad, ugly route. But before we do that, let us talk about the elephant in the room. Is the title race done and dusted? It's hard to say yes and it's hard to say no. With a 2-2 draw, obviously, we go into next week with a 4-point lead instead of a 6-point lead. After the Southampton game, assuming we win that, it'll be 7 points, but Manchester City still have a game in hand. The next game is against Arsenal. Assuming they win that game, at that point, they're 1 point in the deficit with a game in hand, and you can see where we are going with this. Manchester City have the easier list of fixtures. Arsenal have the tougher run in. Mathematically, we're still in this. Psychologically, though, I feel that we are in a position where there isn't much going for us. Arsenal, if they win the league title, have to do it in the hardest way possible, which in my opinion is going to the Etihad and getting a victory. So, is the title race done and dusted? No, not at all. Is it going to be a lot harder to win now? Most definitely it is. Let's get into the match though. Let's talk about West Ham 2, Arsenal 2, and let's start with the good. As always, Arsenal are coming with a very aggressive start, scoring 2 goals in the opening few minutes, looking dominant, looking like the better team across the board in the first 30 minutes. And again, that's really where all the good ends. Then we go into the bad, where we let go of another 2-goal lead. It has to be frustrating at this point to be on top, to even be in a position where we could have gone 3-1 up. Again, no hate to Bukayo Saka. He has been fantastic for the team this season. Probably Arsenal's player of the season, maybe in a debate with Odegaard. But you miss a penalty, you miss a chance to go 3-1 up. You rally the London crowd and they get behind West Ham, who score and equalize not too soon after. Unlike Liverpool, though, this wasn't a wash. This wasn't like they completely took over the game. Arsenal just lacked composure. And once you give a team like West Ham the ability to defend a scoreline, they are not going to let that slip. Arsenal were just not able to create anything significant after the equalizer. And that was the game for us. We could not go ahead and capitalize on what was a fantastic start yet again in the Premier League. And this puts a lot of pressure on Arsenal. This puts a lot of pressure on Arteta. And let's talk about the ugly. It's going to be inevitable that people are going to call this a bottled season. People are going to call this Arsenal blowing a lead, blowing a surefire title. It's important that we realize that that is not the case. Nobody even gave Arsenal a chance going into this season. And obviously, it feels like a lot because we were right there. We had all the chance. We had all the impetus to go out and win the league. And it seems like that is slowly going down the drain. The ugly portion is that we're going to have to go to Etihad and we're going to have to churn out a victory somehow. That has been the big difference between how Arsenal have played and how Manchester City have played. That Leicester City game was a fantastic example of how City can go 3 goals up and then just go into cruise control into that second half. You can argue that they had moments and Leicester could have come back in the game, but I would retort saying that Manchester City were always in control. Should Leicester have gotten a second goal in that game, Manchester City would have turned it up. They would have completely killed the game right then and there. They were just in cruise control mode because they were saving themselves for that Bayern Munich return. Like, Manchester City are currently on another level, and winning the league from this point on is probably going to be the toughest thing Arsenal have done on this season. And the sad part is we have already used up a lot of that emotional bank. Very crucial last minute victories against Manchester United, even Fulham, the comeback victory. Bournemouth won, the most recent example of a hard fought win. Really emotionally draining to a very young Arsenal squad. I don't know if we have enough of that in the bank anymore to go ahead and do it yet again 8 more times, 7 more times in the league. But hey, we have done this in the past. We have what it takes. We have shown it time and time again this season, and there is every chance that we can show it again in these remaining few fixtures. So let's stay strong and come on, you Gooners. Take care. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.